valued and variegated vocal viewers. I hope you have had a victorious week. Welcome to the Iancast, where I, Iancast, voluntarily violate your ears vocally as I imitate suggestions for sounds sent in by you all with my velvety vocal cords. If you cannot already visualize, this viewable podcast is sponsored this week by the letter V, vigilantly vindicating virtual virgins via vulcanizing vile villains. Now, I don't know what that means, but it contains the letter V a lot, so it must be good. Let's go ahead and start. Our first sound this week has been sent in by Mark, and he has presented the sound of chocolate rain. That's sweet. Let's begin. That was the sound of chocolate rain. Not the song, but actual chocolate rain. Our next sound is sent in by Carl, and he has given me the sound of a bird song. Let's go ahead and begin. And that was the sound of a bird song. Thank you, Carl. Now, we have Jeff. Jeff has given me the sound of turning your head 90 degrees to the right. Let's begin. And that was the sound of turning your head 90 degrees to the right. Kayla has given me the sound of a tiger removing an egg from its butt cheeks. I apologize if this sound isn't that accurate, as I have not seen nor heard a butt in quite a number of years. Let's begin. And that was the sound of a tiger removing an egg from its butt cheeks. Up next, we have a sound presented by Noah. Noah has given me the sound of accidentally drinking vinegar instead of water. Let's begin. And that was the sound of accidentally drinking vinegar instead of water. I know from experience. Up next is Macmillan. Macmillan has submitted the sound of a zebra crossing a bridge in Brooklyn. Let's begin. Hey, I'm walking here. And that was the sound of zebra crossing a bridge in Brooklyn. Macmillan, thank you for that one. We have Zinky. Zinky has the sound of hair growing after a clean shave. Simple, really. Let's go ahead and start. And that was the sound of hair growing after a clean shave. Thank you, Zinky. Now, Allison has given me the sound of a cocoa choking I don't know what that says. I apologize for the break, but my editor has informed me that Allison has written cow. Now, Allison must be in preschool because that is the worst W I have ever seen in my entire life, and I have lived a long life. Thanks a lot, Allison. Let's begin. And that is the sound of a cow choking. Go to hell, Allison. After Allison, Peter has the sound of a spider dancing. This one's fun. Let's begin. And that was the sound of a spider dancing. Thanks for this sound, Peter, and for writing well. After Peter is Robert. Robert's given me the sound of a skateboard on a sidewalk. I live with this every day. Dumb millennials going down the sidewalk in their fancy smancy board with wheels, calling it a skateboard, but I don't think it counts, as they're way too noisy to be considered a livable object. I don't know what that means, but it contains the letter V, which is our sponsor. Let's begin. And that was the infuriating sound of a skateboard on the sidewalk. Thanks, Robert. Now we have Xavier. Points for you. Your name contains the letter V. Xavier has the sound of putting contacts in. Let's begin. And that was the sound of putting contacts in. I apologize if that is inaccurate for people who have a different number of eyes. After Xavier, we have Dixie. Dixie has given me the sound of dealing a hand in poker. Let's begin. And that was the sound of dealing a hand in poker. I realize now that the number of cards is off, but you get the general idea. Thank you. Up next, we have Neil. Neil has subscribed to Allison's School of Handwriting. Neil has given me the sound of a star collapsing into a black hole. Now, normally this sounds too loud and we would go deaf from hearing it, but I'll give the muffled sound. Let's begin. That was the sound of a star collapsing into a black hole, save for me clearing my throat. After Neil, we have Ahab, and Ahab has the clever sound of throwing a harpoon. I too am a fan of SpongeBob. Let's begin. Ahab missed. That was the sound of throwing a harpoon. Now, we have Tom. Tom has the sound of a washing machine. Let's see if I can give this a try. Let's begin. And that was the sound of a washing machine. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. And now we have Samantha. Samantha has the sound of a Pomeranian begging for food, just like my own dogs. Let's begin. Yep, 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 yep. And that was the sound of a Pomeranian begging for food. Thank you, Samantha. The next suggested sound is from Nicole. Nicole has the sound of a can of hairspray. And that was the sound of a can of hairspray. Thank you, Nicole, and I am a fan of that musical. Jack has given me, as a suggestion, the sound of pepper jack cheese melting. Let's start. And that was the sound of pepper jack cheese melting. Thank you, cheese industry. Randy has the sound of a frog riding a Segway. And let's begin. And that was the sound of a frog riding a Segway moving past you. Before we continue on to the next one, I will like to file a formal complaint with my editor, who claims that my previous sound of a frog on a Segway is inaccurate because I do not include any ribbons. Clearly, he has never heard of a frog screeching because it is scared it's on a Segway, which I have. Our final sound clip for me to imitate has been submitted by Jenga. Jenga has the sound of a stick of butter falling from a 4-story building onto a trampoline. Let's see if I can give this one a try. Let's begin. And that was the sound of a stick of butter falling from a 4-story building onto a trampoline. And that's how we'll finish the sounds tonight, folks. This has been quite the virtuous virtual video. The sounds I've made have been varied, yet verbose. I hope you enjoyed my verbal and veritable performance this episode, as I put down my dictionary thesaurus combo. Remember to share this podcast with your friends in hopes of getting it viral. Now, as a final goodbye, please enjoy my rendition of the letter V.